Disgust, Thacker, and Inside Out. A Pixar movie we all love dearly, because it's great. Now, I've actually seen Inside Out twice. Once when it first came out back in 2015, 9 years ago. Why? And the second time a few days ago. And both times I thought it was great. Inside Out is one of those movies that gets me really close to crying, but so far hasn't. Maybe one day it will. Also, Inside Out is like really funny. I don't see people talk about how funny Inside Out is. Now you guys might remember, when Inside Out 2 was announced, I was pretty against it. Cause Inside Out didn't need a sequel. And this was a few years that Pixar said like, hey, after Toy Story 4, we're kinda done with sequels. But then there was a part of me that knew something could be done with a sequel to Inside Out. And then we got more and more and more. And Inside Out 2 was honestly looking really good. This looks like it'd be a good movie and a good sequel. So now you've seen Inside Out 2. It's great. It's Pixar. Inside Out 2 is a great sequel. And also, just a great movie. It continues the world of Inside Out in a natural way. It doesn't feel forced, it feels natural. We follow Rilley, she's a bit older. She's a teenager, 13 to be exact. She has new emotions and new problems. And to an extent, it's very relatable. I think this will also be an interesting review. Some of the reviews I've seen are from adults, but I'm 16, so technically still a teenager. So a different perspective for this review than most reviews I've seen of this movie. But I do say to an extent it was relatable, because this movie really made me realize I was not a normal 13-year-old. In the movie, Rilley goes through things like embarrassment, teenage angst, trying to fit in, care about what people think of you, stuff like that. And to be quite frankly honest, I didn't go through any of that. I don't remember last time I got embarrassed. I never tried to fit in. I was too busy making YouTube videos and watching movies to worry about normal teen things. I'm a YouTuber that talks about movies. I don't care what people think of me. As long as people are laughing at me because that's causing them entertainment, I don't care. So while yes, I do say this is relatable to some people, but I generally didn't find it incredibly relatable. But the way to that extent. For me, it was maybe just the concept of being like a 13-year-old teen. Not really what comes with being a 13-year-old teen, but what Rilley goes through in the movie is very compelling and emotional. I didn't think this was as emotional as the first Inside Out, but it was still pretty emotional. It did give me that feeling. I got maybe a little bit teary-eyed. But I heard people sniffling around me in the theater, so it definitely made people cry. It just didn't quite for me. But there are 2 lines that Joy gives in the movie that was like, wow, okay. Pixar, how deep are you gonna push that knife? And I did like all the new emotions. They have neat designs, they're enjoyable. Anxiety's definitely the standout of the new emotions. And is the one most focused on. And she's great. I love her character. Even though I didn't find a lot of things really relatable, I found the character of Anxiety very relatable. And she's a great antagonist. Not a villain, but a great antagonist. She thinks what she's doing is right, and technically it is right. She's just doing it in a wrong way. I also like exploring more of Rilley's mind, and all these different locations that we didn't see in the first movie. I will say the plot is a bit similar to the first movie, but it has enough unique stuff in it that makes it different enough. But in the end, it's kind of the same plot structure. Emotions get out of headquarters, have to get back to headquarters. This movie was also pretty funny. Not as funny as the first movie, but still pretty funny. Like there's some really funny stuff with parodying toddler shows, like Blue's Clues and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, with using 2D animation, and they also parody old PS1 games, both of which had me laughing a lot, especially towards the end. There's one scene involving one of the toddler parody show characters that made me laugh so hard and so loud. 100% the best laugh I've ever had in the theater. And for me at least, it's probably my top 10 most funniest movie moments ever. And of course, props for having a realistic anxiety attack, especially in an animated movie, and the recast of Disgust and Fear aren't too noticeable, but fun fact, Fear is played by Tony Hale, who voices Forky in Toy Story 4, because Toy Story exists, and I like it. And it's crazy how much animation has improved since the first Inside Out. Inside Out looks really good, but Inside Out 2 looks stunning. But would I want Inside Out 3? Not really. But if Inside Out 3 is announced, then I honestly wouldn't mind it. I do plan on making a video about Inside Out 3, so like and subscribe if you haven't already, make sure you don't miss that video. Overall, I loved Inside Out 2. It's a great movie, and it's a great sequel. If you like Pixar, or Inside Out, or just want to see a really great movie, then I highly recommend Inside Out 2. If Pixar can keep the same quality with the rest of their sequels, I wouldn't mind seeing more Pixar sequels. This also gives me a lot of hope for Toy Story 5. Bye guys for now! Bye, Scott and Thacker.